What's going on, everyone? So Los Angeles Lakers have several needs that need to be addressed via trade. And one of those needs is a center. But another big need is perimeter defense, right? Lakers are currently 27th in defense, total defense. They're also 27th in rebounding, right? There is the Lakers active in trying to acquire a center. And many people believe that a center is the biggest need, that is the piece that you have to get above everything else, right? And look, I'm not saying we don't need a center, but I actually don't think it's the biggest priority, right? And that's just by looking at the Lakers and what they're doing and how they're playing. The rebounding definitely is an issue, but the rebounding isn't from the interior. The rebounding is from the exterior. Right? So you look at the Lakers' circumstances. They have two huge needs, rebounding and perimeter defense. But the perimeter defense is actually part of the cause of the rebounding. Tyler, how? Well, teams are shooting more threes against the Lakers than pretty much anybody. Every night we see a guy turn into Steph Curry. I mean, teams are literally having career nights. Orlando has the worst three-point percentage in the entire NBA at 30%, and they shot 38% against the Lakers, right? Like, teams are jacking up threes, right? Also, the Lakers are one of the worst teams in transition defense, which is another perimeter issue, right? So, a lot of your rebounding, your lack of defense, as well as your transition, which are your three biggest problems, all have to do with the perimeter. Because again, if teams are jacking up a bunch of threes, guess what happens to those rebounds? They bounce off the rim and they're long ball rebounds. They're not at the rim. Interior-wise, the Lakers are very good. You have Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is having a MVP-style season, but they don't have any perimeter stoppers, and they don't have any athleticism out on the perimeter. So teams are, hey, let's just shoot 100 threes a game, have all those long balls. All we have to do is win a foot race against Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, right? Like, it's easy. It's smooth sailings at that point, right? So the Lakers are giving up a lot of second chance points and a lot of offensive rebounds because of the perimeter issues. So I actually think that, again, and the data backs this up, so it's not just my opinion, it is literally what is happening with the Lakers. Again, you feel free, if you doubt what I'm saying, feel free to verify and check it out yourself, right? Lakers, again, 27th in rebounding and currently 27th in defensive rebounds, right? Which, that is them giving up offensive boards, right? The lack thereof. And they're one of the worst transition teams. All three of their biggest issues, the three biggest issues to fix the Lakers, all get solved by the perimeter. If you get some athleticism at the guard position, if you get some athleticism at the wing, guess what you solve? All three of those at once. A center doesn't solve all three of those at once. Center solves the interior side of things, which the Lakers have been fine with. Right? Lakers have actually been pretty good. A lot of people go, yeah, but you need a center for Jokic. You need a center for Jokic. Jokic isn't the reason the Lakers keep losing, right? Jokic is great. Don't get me wrong. Jokic is incredible. But Jokic hasn't been so dominant that it's like, if we can one, you're not going to slow down Jokic. You're not going to stop Jokic, right? Two, Jokic hasn't really been the problem. He is a problem, but it's everybody else, right? Like, even in the playoffs, this last playoff run, Anthony Davis played Jokic. I mean, you could argue better, but at least to a draw. It was Michael Porter Jr. Every time we play, Michael Porter Jr. turns into prime Steph Curry. Jamal Murray turns into prime Michael Jordan. Aaron Gordon's out there playing like he's prime Scottie Pippen, right? Like, every time we play Denver, it's their perimeter guys. Christian Brown has one of the best games he's had shooting-wise this season, right? Like, it's the perimeter. Even our biggest hurdle, our biggest, the Goliath that is standing in our way, can be fixed by the perimeter, right? And there's not that great big defensive stopper that's going to just shut down Jokic. Again, I'm not saying the Lakers don't need a center, but they need to focus on the perimeter. They need to get a legit 3-and-D Wayne. They need to get a legit defensive guard, right? So I think the Nets make so much sense. You can get a Cam Johnson, a Dorian Finney-Smith, a Dennis Schroeder, right? And you can even get a Day'Ron Sharpe. Obviously, my favorite is Walker Kessler. I'm a big fan of going and getting Walker Kessler. But beyond Walker Kessler, you have a bunch of other cheap options. It's why, like, people look, what about Nikola Vucevic or, Brook Lopez or DeAndre Ayton, right? He's available now. What about him, right? Like, I don't think you need any of those guys, right? You don't need some premier center. You need somebody that can come in and just be serviceable. It's why, like, a lot of people think, like, Valanciunas, like, right? Valanciunas isn't probably the best option, but he is what you need. A guy that give you a double-double, right? He's not the floor running guy, but the Lakers aren't this, like, they're not like this hefty, fast-paced team. Obviously, that could change through trades and stuff. They do get out in transition, and they do like to push the pace, but they're also running a lot more half-court sets, a lot more half-court action than any other time, right? Like, last season, it was just kind of like, just go, right? They were one of the fastest paced teams in the league last season, right? They're running more actual actions in the half court. A lot more 3-man game you're seeing with LeBron, Austin Reeves, Anthony Davis, right? That they weren't doing last year. So I do think Valanciunas kind of fits in, plugs in. But even him, like, you don't, like a Nick Richards, right? Like a Day'Ron Sharpe. Like, I think any of these guys fit what you need. I don't think you need that premier guy. If I'm the Lakers, I'm focusing more out on the perimeter. Because, again, the 3 biggest problems you have all get resolved by the perimeter. And again, like, for those, because, I know some people are probably going to think, like, no, we have to get a center, we have to get this, we have to get that. One, I'm not saying don't get a center. I'm just saying it's not the biggest priority. Biggest priority is sewing up athleticism and defense out on the perimeter. But if you're somebody that disagrees, I encourage you, go verify. Don't just take my word for it. Go verify, right? Again, watch gameplay action. Most of the rebounds we give up are not due to just the inside. It is the long rebounds. It is rebounds that are getting out 15 plus feet, that their guards and stuff are just beating ours to the spots. You even saw it in the Denver game. Right? They were just chasing down and just getting to the ball faster. Right? Like, where the Lakers did just slower paced, slower footed team, you don't have the athleticism and you don't have the defense to slow guys down. Right? And you don't have the athleticism and the defenders to get back in transition. Right? But if you now get, a Cam Johnson and a Bruce Brown, right? People are like, why do you want Zach LaVine so bad? Because he, again, helps with the rebounding. He can chase down those loose balls. He can get back in transition. He's, every year, at least league average or better defensively, right? He can still make plays. He still maintains offense, right? So he gives you a legit 2-way guy. And you save your assets to go get other things. You could still go get a center. You still go get a Dorian Finney-Smith and like a Day'Ron Sharpe. Now you got a 3-and-D Wayne along with Zach LaVine. And you got that backup center, right? Like, again, we need a center. Center is something that the Lakers absolutely need, right? I don't want to act like it's not. But our biggest need right now, based on how this season has gone and how things are shaping up, is athleticism on the perimeter. It's a big problem. Right? I see people all the time. Why are, the Warriors so good? Why are, the Clippers, why have they been so good? Right? Like, they have athleticism, right? They have a bunch of guys that can get after it on both sides of the basketball. They have guys that can play both sides of the basketball, right? And they have youth and they're running and they're gunning, right? OKC, youth, run and gunning, right? Like, the Warriors are up there because they got a bunch of young guys, right? You look at Kuminga and Moody and Pod and, you go down the list and it's just like they have guys that just, they're gunning, right? And they have the athleticism and they have the defense out in the perimeter and they have all those things, right? Orlando, one of the best defensive, right? They got Jalen Suggs and all these young guys that have the legs that they can run around, and Wagner and all these guys, right? Like that's what the Lakers need. The Lakers need the perimeter. You got to get legit three to get. If the Lakers get a Walker Kessler and that's it, it makes us better. It doesn't raise the ceiling, right? We're not a contender. Like, getting a center doesn't immediately make us a contender, right? What makes us better? A Cam Johnson or a Valanciunas or a Vucevic, right? Cam Johnson would make us better. Because you're talking about a guy that can defend out on the perimeter, a guy that can come in and step up and would immediately be your third best guy that can defend multiple positions, play multiple positions, right? He can legitimately knock it down from three, get back in transition. He can help with rebounding, right? Like, it's just much more versatile and solves most of our needs. Also, you got to keep in mind, LeBron James needs to play the four at this point. So any center you get is just going to be a backup. We need guys that can plug into the starting unit, and it would be nice to get some bench depth also, but you got to, if you upgrade the overall package in the starting unit, you're just in better shape. Again, a center is important, but it's not the biggest priority. Not based on how this team is shaping up and looked from the eye test to, again, the stats. Everything backs it up. Lakers need perimeter. But as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think, like, hey, I don't care what the data says. I don't care what the eye test says. I don't care. Yeah, you got to get an elite center. Do you think, like, no, you're right. You're spot on. Data's correct, right? Our problem is perimeter. We can't defend. We're not getting the loose balls and rebounding and chasing stuff down. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it either way down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me not, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.